There was all this love out there for her, and she didn't get to experience it for herself. But I have hope. Hi, my name's Georgie. I live in West Reading with my husband John and our 2 young children. Our baby daughter Cassie was born earlier this year. She was less than 2 months old when lockdown began. Cassie is our second child, which was a mixed blessing. On one hand, we'd already established ourselves as parents, and the life-shattering, mind-bending experience of having a newborn wasn't new to us. On the other hand, we really needed people to show love and spend energy on our 2-year-old son, but we were alone. I've experienced many emotions over the last few months: anxiety, frustration, loneliness, fear. But one thing that I keep coming back to is a feeling of loss. Everyone tells you when you have a newborn, they don't stay like that for long, or they're not very little for long. And whenever someone holds a newborn, they sort of breathe it in. There's nothing quite like those early days and the snuggliness of those early days. I'm so sad that our friends and family and people who love Cassie immensely didn't get to share that love with her. They were robbed of sharing those early days. There was all this love out there for her, and she didn't get to experience it for herself. But I have hope. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "I will restore the years the locust has eaten." And this is God talking to his people several thousand years ago. God's people experienced loss. They were robbed of their food by locusts. They had the sadness of famine, hunger, and destruction of their livelihoods. But God's words were full of hope, and they pointed to a promise. God will restore what the locust has eaten. God will restore what has been taken from his people. And what he gives in the end will be better than what they lost. God holds out this promise for anyone who puts their faith in him. There are many ways that we can experience loss and sadness and brokenness in our lives. For me, it was the precious early days of my daughter's life, but for you, it might be something different. Ultimately, where our relationship with God is broken, he's made a way through Jesus to restore it and make it right. In fact, to make it better than it ever was. And that's the greatest hope and the best healing that we could ever have.